Okay, Chris, what are your concerns surrounding the Immigration Amendment Bill?
I think the bill represents both good news and bad news for business and for South Africans. It's good news in the sense that certain concerns, certain important changes have been made to the legislation to facilitate, for example, the transfers of people with skills into the country. It also, I think, perhaps controversially, allows for increased penalties for contraventions of the legislation. I think there has been a tendency over the years to treat contraventions as being something of a joke. And I think the new bill will go some way to having people respect the laws once they're in the country. I think it's bad news also bad news for business in the sense that it does not I think take into account the realities of doing business in the global environment. I think the department has this view that, as it says, we are, why should our laws be treated any differently to the immigration laws of America or the UK? And the fact is that in terms of the requirements for complying with or to obtain a permit, we're competing with people from other countries, or we're competing for a pool of people with skills, and I think we have to kind of do something extra to attract those people. And we're not doing that. Instead, we are saying, we're coming out with this mantra about, well, it's the same for us in America, or the laws are the same in the UK or Canada. And that's really the wrong question. And I think that our laws need to offer business a more efficient system to allow them to attract skills. And I think ultimately we're looking for a sort of formula that will balance the needs to control who comes into the country and what they do once they're in the country, with the need to attract those skills. I just don't think we're getting the balance right, and I don't think there's a realization that there needs to be a balance at this point.
Saying that I understand that South Africa's immigration legislation is currently undergoing a rethink. Where would you like to see this going?
As I said, I think there needs to be a more careful reassessment of who's the customer, who's the client in this exercise, because particularly when we're talking about the importation of skills, about recruiting entrepreneurs who will create jobs. It's the private sector, it's business, it's the academic institutions that are trying to bring people in. It's not principally government, and I think there needs to be that realization that as to who the client is, and how can we create a more effective sort of team. And I think that realization that we are a team, we're all in it together, trying to create jobs, but we're trying to market South Africa. And I think that's where, as I was saying earlier, I think there needs to be a better balance between the need to control or manage the borders, the need to control who gets in. No one's arguing for, no one's seriously calling for, open borders or, a free-for-all. But one does need to realize that we're not an A-list destination. People are not queuing up to get into the country. Certainly the people we need aren't queuing up to get into the country. And we need to go out there and offer something extra. As the song says, this is not America.
Thank you,
Okay.
Chris.